Unions and civil society organizations are worried about the declared national state of disaster on the energy crisis. They argue that this is government's attempts to avoid accountability. eNCA reporter Heidi Giokos has been chatting to experts and other role players. Let's cross live to her now in our Joburg studios for an update. Heidi, you spoke to the South African Federation of Trade Unions. What's their take on the State of the Nation address and these matters?
Yes, I think what's crucial here is the fact that a state of disaster has been declared, and this is to deal with the energy crisis. We do know that we've been subjected to ongoing rolling blackouts for the past 15 to 16 years, but in the last year or so, it's been at the worst levels possible. And the president's, of course, saying that a decision has been taken to declare a state of disaster with immediate effect. Now, what does that actually mean? It's got to do with the fact that government will be able to deal with this and possibly expedite certain processes to bring an end to the ongoing rolling blackouts. But civil society for example, SAFTU indicating that they are not happy with this decision. Many are saying that this is not going to solve the problem, and it's merely just government trying to be seen to be doing something about it, when actually the problems on the ground remain. We spoke to Zwelinzima Vavi about this. Let's listen to what he had to say.
What we fear is that perhaps the government wants to do this in order to avoid accountability to many groupings in society, including the environmental groups that have won major victories in the Eastern Cape, as well as in KwaZulu-Natal, when the government was steaming ahead with privatization and with introducing measures that are going to undermine our efforts to protect our environment. We think that they want to, in particular, bring in those power ships in the sea, and they want to bring in methane gas and all manner of other gases that are a danger to the environment. And they want to sideline the regulations so that they can do that without having to be held accountable.
And Heidi, I understand you also spoke to eNCA. I wonder what they have to say, especially after the fact that they expressed dissatisfaction to the state of national disaster.
Yes, so I think what's crucial here, Masego, is the fact that eNCA has indicated that they are basically throwing people at the problem. There's always a saying that just throw money at the problem and it will hopefully sort itself out. And in this case, you're throwing people and money at the problem. And eNCA is saying that they aren't necessarily impressed with the decision to have a Minister of Electricity, because, again, it takes away from accountability and basically blurs the lines. Who's going to be responsible? You have a Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, you have a Minister of Public Enterprises, and you have a CEO of Eskom and a board. So what does that speak about? What does that say about the confidence that the president has in all these structures? Yes, we do know that the minister says that, the president rather says that the Minister of Electricity will specifically focus on load shedding and how to deal with that and bring an end to that. But why couldn't any other minister or the board or the CEO deal with that specific problem? So eNCA is not impressed. They feel as though this is going to be nothing but a show, and there are going to be no tangible solutions to the ongoing electricity crisis. Let's listen to what Wayne Duvenage from eNCA had to say.
You have, as you said, DPE. They're responsible for Eskom itself. And the DMRE that is responsible for the energy plan. Both of them have not been doing their jobs properly. So instead of dealing with that issue at those two levels, the updating the IRP so that we have a secure energy plan, and then working towards it from DMRE's side, the DPE should be insisting on the efficiencies within Eskom. And they've got a lot of powers to fix things, but they're not. So throwing another minister into the equation is going to create more confusion. It's going to blur the lines of accountability between, well, who's responsible for this, and then the presidency putting this right under him. All cabinet ministers do report to the president, but it just shows this lack of confidence in democracy and doing it properly.